Welcome back to my channel. So you probably noticed that I am in a different location, and that is because my front porch currently has two wasp nests. One might be a hornet's nest and a bird, and you know, I just felt like that was a very hostile environment and I was not feeling it. Anyway, we are at the side of my house right now, so enjoy the view, the wood, the sky. I don't know, can you see the sky? It's there. But so today I wanted to do a reading list, but instead of just doing a normal reading list, like to see what I'm actually reading, I wanted to give you all some tips on how to actually create reading lists, because I didn't see that many of these videos online, and so I was like, that could be interesting. So this is going to be more so of my summer reading list, and what I'm going to do is go through the goal that I'm set and then just go through each of these books plus some more, because I don't have all of my books unfortunately, and just why I want to read those and why I set this particular goal. So my goal for this summer is to read 10 books, and the reason why or rather at least 10 books. The reason why I set this goal is because I have about 10 more weeks before I actually get on the plane to go to Australia, and so I figured that was a pretty good goal. It's not too ambitious, and hopefully I'll be able to read a little bit more, but this way it's like this is a reasonable goal that I can actually meet. So I talked about some of these books in my, or at least I showed them in my last video, and so yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. My first book is Originals by Adam Grant, and it says How Nonconformists Move the World. I don't know if you can see this, it might be a little bright, but yeah. And so the reason why I chose this is just because it talks about like originality, creativity, some things that I really felt like I was losing my first semester of sophomore year, which was really unfortunate just because of the state that I was in, the place that I was living, and different things like that. So I really feel like this book will help get those creative juices flowing. Also, apparently it's a good book just for marketing in general, and I'll get more into that later on. So the reason why I chose this, in addition to all of those things, is just because I really feel like creativity and like self-growth is something that I'm interested in and that I really need to do at this point in my life. And so I feel like this will be a really good book to read. I'm not sure where in the summer I'm going to start reading this, but I definitely will. My second book, so I definitely mentioned this one in my last book. It is called Tales of an Ecotourist. I remember the name this time, and it is by Gunter Jr. And so the reason why I want to read this book is just because it involves environmental issues and also climate change. It's supposed to, well, sorry, let me read you the description. It says, what travel to wild places can teach us about climate change. And I know that's a big debate going on, whether or not you believe in it. Yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, I do believe that climate change is real, and I think this will be a very interesting book to read about the issue, just because not only am I interested in environmental issues, I'm also very interested in travel, and I feel like it's very impactful for your growth and self-development. And this may be because I was an army brat, and so that has a lot to do with it. And so this kind of goes into my travel and environmental issues. So this one is You Are a Bad Ass. I originally decided to read this book last summer after I finished reading Girl Boss. Oh, sorry. This is by Jen Sincero. I hope I said her name right. Anyway, yeah, I decided to read this last year after I finished reading Girl Boss. Unfortunately, I did not get this book in until the end of summer, and by that point I was traveling. I went to go do my job at MIT. That part only lasted for a week, and then I did the rest of it throughout the year. And I was also traveling to visit family, and by that point it was time for me to move back in, and so I just didn't have a lot of time to actually sit down and read like I wanted to. So I've had this for almost a year now, unfortunately, which shows you just how busy my school year is. But yeah, so I'm really excited to read this. It is a self-help book, and I just really think that it'll be good for motivation and different things like that, especially since for the past week I haven't been feeling the most motivated after getting out of finals and school. Really just wanted to sleep, and hopefully something like this, which I'm actually reading this week, will help me get back on my game. So the next book that I want to talk about, I actually don't have with me, unfortunately. I read the first book in this series last year, and some of you all might know it. It is called Red Queen series, and the first book was amazing. okay, maybe not amazing, but like considering I hadn't read that many books for like pleasure, like it was really good. The last part had me shook, guys. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, this book is kind of sci-fi fantasy. It takes place in, I guess, what you would call alternate dimension, where there are two groups of people. One are the silvers and the other ones are the reds, and those classifications are based on the color of your blood. Because you know how everyone's like, well, it's only skin deep, everyone bleeds red. Not in this society. So our main character finds out something very interesting about herself, and she, the main protagonist is a red, and just the reds are a bit lower in society than the silvers, who have these amazing powers and all of this wealth. And so the main protagonist finds out something very interesting about herself and spirals her into a world that she didn't expect to ever experience of these silvers. My next book is Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly. I'm really excited about this book because I actually got this book free from my engineering office, just because the author actually came and spoke at my school earlier this year, and unfortunately I was unable to get my book signed, even though she had a signing and a reception afterwards, because my acapella group had a performance. I'm still upset, but it's fine because her talk was amazing and the movie for this was amazing. I watched the movie doing a group kind of research project. It wasn't my research, but for a graduate research, they were looking at women of color, specifically African American women in STEM, and how their math experience kind of shaped them and helped mold their college experience. So that was a great time. I got to meet girls from my school and from other schools who were into STEM and who were taking similar classes to me, and we got to bond over this amazing movie. And now I really want to read the book, just because clearly I'm engineered. This is about some of the women who were influential in the, which space launch was it? But yeah, I'm really excited to read more about these women's experiences in NASA and just see where my well, not necessarily my roots, but where the roots started, because I am blessed to be able to go to the school that I go to, and it's in the program, and actually follow my passion to become an entrepreneur or a scientist or an engineer, whatever it is I decide to do. And so these women are part of the reason why I can do that, and so I'm really excited to learn about their stories. And so this one is a mixture of pleasure, but also just to give myself some history. You don't know where, if you don't know where you came from, you can't accurately know where you're going. This next book is a reread, actually. I read this for my environmental inequality and justice class. I might have put that backwards, but that's what it is. And so I'm really excited. This is called Introducing Just Sustainabilities, and it is by Julian Agyeman. And he is a really influential writer in the socio-environmental sphere. We read a good number of his works during my time in class, and I'm really excited to reread this, just because it talks about policy and planning and how these things can be implemented in a society. And not only because that's something that I want to go into, but also because in Australia I'm thinking about getting an internship, and one of my internship options is actually for sustainable community growth and development. And so I think this would be really beneficial in deciding if I want to pursue, sorry, my hair's a mile away. If I want to pursue that internship, and I think that'll just give me more information so that I can be more successful in that internship and later on in life. And so that is the reason why I chose this specific book, because of my interests. Okay, so this next book seems a little cheesy and out of place in a summer reading list, because girl, who wants to be doing school? What? I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it now? Yeah. I know you're who wants to be doing school at this point? But this is just because Australia has, sorry, let me tell you what the book is first, okay? So this book is How to Become a Straight A Student by Newport. And the reason why I chose this book to be part of my summer reading list is because Australia has a very different education system, and so it's not as hands-on as it is in America, and I will be doing a lot of the learning on my own, and they don't meet as many times as we do here. And so I just think this will be very beneficial for me to learn how some people here in other areas actually develop their curriculum and learned how to learn on their own, just so that I can be successful in a different environment. And clearly they're going to do an orientation and go over all of the extracurricular, academic, and other information that we need to know while we're there. But I would just prefer to have a little bit of information before I get there. So this will probably be one of the last books that I read before I actually leave, because the day after I land we'll be starting orientation, and then the week after that school actually starts in July, which is not going to be fun. But it's like, it'll be cold over there. It's actually their coldest month. It'll be like 60 degrees or something like that. So I won't feel as bad for not being outside, but it'll still kind of suck that my summer was cut short. But yeah, so I feel like this will be very influential, and just anyone who's trying to do better in school. Like I told you all about my GPA, it's not the best, and so I hope that I'll be able to bring it up while I'm there and in my coming semesters, and I just feel like this book will be very beneficial. Okay, so the last book I unfortunately don't have with me either, and that's because I haven't decided what I want to read. And as you can see, this is like 7 books overall, and I said that I wanted to read 10. So I have at least one more in mind that I want to read, and that one will be a marketing book. I'm not sure exactly which one I want to read, but the reason why I decided on a marketing book is because I am working as my mother's marketing intern for her multiple businesses. In addition, I am also the PR chair for my a cappella group, and I also help plan events for my school's entrepreneurship it's a club on campus. And so I just think that'd be really beneficial to help me figure out some different things for social media and non-social media activities that I can do to help improve engagement. And not only for that, like clearly I'm on YouTube now, so it'll also be beneficial to help boost my own stuff if I decide that I want to do this long term. I clearly have 2 more books that I still need to choose or find or do something. And so in order to do that, I would like it if you all could leave some suggestions on what you're planning on reading and why in the comments, just to give me some ideas of what I can read over the summer. Yeah. Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention. So, I don't have it. Sad face. Anyway, so the Red Queen series, like I was talking about, it actually has a 4th book that is coming out today, the day that I'm recording it, and I'm posting this on Wednesday, so it'll be yesterday. But they have a 4th book coming out, and I am currently on the 2nd one, so maybe the 3rd and 4th books will end up being my last 2 books. Who knows? But yeah, I'm really excited about that. Hopefully the 2nd book lives up to the 1st book standard, so I can decide if I want to read the next 2 books. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful. And just to recap, the way that I choose what books I'm going to use is based on my goal, which is to read 10 books by the end of the summer, and also my overall goals and interests such as entrepreneurship, marketing, business, the environment, and then of course just some personal things that I'm interested in. I will see you all next time, and I hope you all have a great week. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!